Hello everyone, welcome to Solve Source classes. This is Tushar Shaw, and in this video we will be continuing to solve the UPSC Chemistry Main CS Main 2020 paper 2020 paper that we were solving since the last video, I guess. Okay, just only one video was done. Okay, so as I've already told you earlier, I'll just remind it to you that this paper is not an objective type, that is not an MCQ type. It is a subjective type question, so you must write and in the way that I am writing, and you must explain it properly. Okay, the explanation I am giving it to you by like speaking, so you may just note the explanations down, and everything that I write on the screen is extremely important, so you must note it down correctly. Okay, so yeah, so let us like move on to the question that we had left. So in the last video we did up till question number 1b, so here we will be starting from question number 1c. Okay, so question number 1c says that the energy express heat capacity at constant volume, that is CV, of a substance in terms of its internal energy. We have to express it in terms of U, and then show that delta CV divided by delta V at constant T and N is equal to 0 for ideal gases. Now this is an extremely easy question. Okay, we can just do it by ourselves only, without any extra tension. Okay, so we know that U is a function of T and V. What is the function we are not writing? We are just assuming that U is a function of T and V. Okay, so yeah, so obviously if we write the derivative form of this equation, that is U is the function of T and V, we will be getting du would be equal to du by dt at constant V dt plus du by dV at constant T dV. Okay, now we know that du is equal from the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, from the first law of thermodynamics, I'm writing it as TD. Okay, so from the first law of thermodynamics, we know that du is equal to dq plus dw. Okay, so putting that in the above equation, so we would be having du by dt at constant V would be equal to, we are just taking the value of du by dt at constant V. We are just calculating the value from the above equation. So we have this would be equal to dq plus dw divided by dt, which is at constant V, is equal to dqv by dt at constant V, which is equal to qv by delta t, which is equal to cv. Okay, so we just calculated the value of derived the value of cv from the above equation, that is du, where we got the value of du by dt at constant V. We use the first law of thermodynamics to put the value to bring the heat term into the system, and therefore we just found out the value of cv to be equal to du by dt at constant V. Okay, now we have been asked to calculate the value of dCV by dV at constant T. Okay, so that this would be equal, now putting the value of CV in this case, we know the value of CV to be this one, this du by dt. So we will be having d of ddv of du by dt at constant V, um, uh, this at constant T. Okay, now we can interchange the denominators in terms of in accordance with the Euler's reciprocity rule. Okay, because all of them are state functions, so obviously they would be following the Euler's reciprocity rule. Okay, so d of dt into du by dv at constant uh, dv. Okay, now du by dv at constant t, du by dv at constant t, this is a state function. The value for this is, let me just give it to you, t into dp by dt at constant v minus p. Okay, now we are given ideal gas. Okay, So let us, for the ideal gas, let us calculate this value. Okay. So for an ideal gas, we know PV equal to RT for 1 mole. Okay. So yeah, PV equal to RT for 1 mole, or dP by dt at constant V is equal to, obviously, just let me just break and write. So P dV plus V dP is equal to R dt. Okay. Now, as we are taking V as constant, this term would be eliminated. Okay. So and this dt would be going down, so we will be getting dp by dt at constant v would be equal to r by v. This r would be here as it is, and this v would be coming here. So putting this value in this equation, we will be getting t into r by v. R by v is equal to minus p. Okay. Now from this equation only, we would know that RT, we just bring the V over here, we got RT by V would be equal to P. So here RT by V is there, so we will be putting the value of RT by V is equal to P. So P minus P would be equal to 0. Okay. So the value of this equation of state would be equal to 0. So this the value of this comes to as 0. So therefore dCV by dV at constant T comes to be 0. Okay. So this is the proper way of calculating this the value of dCV by dV at constant t. Another method is there using the Maxwell's relation, but that is not a concern over here. We are just given to calculate the value from the first law of thermodynamics, and this is the exact approach. Okay. So let us move on to the next question. The next question says that that is question number 1D. It says that phenol and water are partially miscible liquids. By mixing these two liquids, we get two phases of equilibrium. Okay, find the number of degrees of freedom in the system and mention which of them, mention each of them with the help of its phase diagram. Okay, so the main system that is taken in our question, that is the phenol water system. Okay, phenol water system, and the topic that that we will be pondering around would be the phase diagram. Okay. Okay. So firstly, we have to just calculate the from the basic formula. We have to calculate the number of degrees of freedom. Okay. So we know that F plus P is equal to C plus 2, where C is the number of components, P is the number of phases, and F is the number of degrees of freedom. Okay. So we have to calculate the value of F over here. Now the number of phases that are given, firstly we know that the number of components here is equal to 2, because only two things are taken, that is water and phenol. Nothing else is there in the system. We are not taking this KCl electrolyte system that we have done normally in our practical classes, but the only phenol and water is being taken. Okay, at different concentrations, obviously, because we are plotting a graph related to the concentration and temperature of the system. Okay, so phenol and water is taken. There are two components. Now the number of phases also here would be equal to 2. Why? Because only two states of phenol water mixture is available. One is the immiscible state, and another one is the miscible state. Either precipitate forms from the phenol, or they are totally mixed. This happens at the CST, consolidate temperature, obviously at a certain concentration. Okay, so that we will be discussing just now. So there are two phases available. So putting the values in this equation, we will be getting F would be equal to F plus 2 would be equal to C plus 2, or therefore we cancel out 2. I'm sorry, C here would be equal to 2 also, we cancel out 2. So F would be equal to 2. Okay, F would be equal to 2. This would give you half the marks. If you just calculate up till here, you will be getting, instead, like for 10 marks you will be getting 5 marks. Okay, in the next part of this question, you have to just explain it by the help of the phase diagram of the phenol water system. Okay. So let me just draw for you the phenol with the phase diagram. So we have temperature over here, we have concentration over here. Obviously, this ranges from 100% to 0%. The concentration of phenol being added into the system. Okay, concentration of phenol being added into the system. Concentration of phenol. So we have the graph would be coming like this. Okay, and this would be the point CST. Okay, this would be coming at around 68 percentage. Okay, 68 percentage. Yeah, so this was the case. So in this case you can just see that below this point, okay, like below in this graph from when seeing going from x to y, we have p would the number of phases would be equal to 2 and the number of degrees of freedom here would be equal to 1. Why the number of phases would be equal to 2? Because obviously we are getting two phase, one is the immiscible phase and one is the miscible phase. Okay, obviously we have not the miscible and immiscible, there are two phases because both of them having in the different components. Okay, like water has one phase is the constituent of water and another phase is the constituent of phenol, as the like liquid precipitate type of slush kind of thing that is there in the system. Okay, so there are two phases. So and these two phases give only equal like the value of a degree of freedom obtained here would be equal to 1. Okay, and above this point, like after the CST is reached, above this point we will be having phase equal to 1. Why? Because after above the CST we know that both the phenol and water are totally miscible to each other. Okay, both of them are totally miscible, like they give the like they have only one phase in system and therefore here would be getting the value of F to be equal to 2. Okay, so these are the two situations in which the value of F can be varied and the number of, in accordance with the number of phases that are being formed. Number of components is the same for both the cases. Okay, so yeah, so this was the second question. Let us wrap this video up. We will be continuing from question number 1E in the next video. Quite a long set of questions are there in this video. We have to like write step by step, and each of the things that I write on the screen must be there on your copy. Only then you will be getting the full marks. Okay. So that is the reason why it is requiring such great amount of time for solving such so less questions. Okay. So thank you guys for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.